Have you ever felt that strange, quiet shift when a man starts to care more than he wants to admit? Not the obvious flirting, not the loud declarations, but the subtle way his energy changes around you. One day he's just another guy in your life, and the next, you notice he's remembering the tiny things you said weeks ago. He brings them up casually like they don't matter, but they do. That's one of the first powerful signs a man has deep feelings for you. When a man truly cares, his brain begins to store details about you the way it stores important information. Your favorite snack, the way you take your coffee, that story you told once about your childhood. These things start to stick because emotionally you start to matter to him. And the reason this is so important is because men don't do this unconsciously for just anyone. A man can be attracted to many women, but he only emotionally tracks one. When you become the woman whose words he remembers, whose moods he notices, whose silence he feels, it means you've crossed from casual to significant in his mind. Another deep sign is how he starts adjusting his behavior around you. You might notice he becomes softer, more careful with his words, more thoughtful about how he treats you. Men who don't care speak freely because they have nothing to lose. But a man who has deep feelings becomes aware of the impact of his actions on you. He begins to weigh his tone. He hesitates before joking in ways that might hurt you. He thinks twice before disappearing, because losing you suddenly feels costly. And here's the psychological truth most women don't realize. Men fall in love when they feel emotionally invested. When he starts modifying his behavior to protect the connection with you, that emotional investment has already begun. You might also notice that he becomes more curious about your inner world. Not just how your day was, but how you felt about it. He asks deeper questions. What made you sad? What made you happy? What you're afraid of? What you want in life? This curiosity is not casual. A man who has deep feelings wants to understand you, because emotionally, he's starting to see you as someone who could be in his future. He's mapping you into his life mentally, even if he hasn't said it out loud yet. And here's another powerful but quiet sign. He becomes emotionally present during your vulnerable moments. When you open up, he doesn't dismiss it, rush past it, or change the subject. He listens, he stays. He makes space for your feelings. Men don't emotionally sit with women they don't care about. They avoid emotional discomfort unless it's for someone who matters. So if he's there when you're sad, confused, or overwhelmed, that's not accidental. That's attachment forming. And finally, in this first phase, you'll feel a shift in how he looks at you. Not just desire, but something deeper. His eyes linger. He studies you. There's warmth there, a softness, almost like he's seeing you. Not just your body, not just your face, but you. That kind of gaze is not something a man gives to someone he sees as temporary. That gaze comes from emotional connection, from a man who is beginning to feel deeply, even if he hasn't found the words for it yet. One of the strongest signs a man has deep feelings for you is how he reacts when you're not around. This is something women rarely pay attention to, but it reveals everything. A man who only likes you when you're in front of him is attracted. A man who feels your absence when you're gone is emotionally attached. You'll notice he checks in more. He sends messages for no reason. He finds small excuses to talk to you. Not because he has something important to say, but because he feels a subtle discomfort when you're not emotionally present in his life. That discomfort is attachment, and attachment is the foundation of deep feelings. Another sign is jealousy, but not the loud, controlling kind. The quiet, subtle kind. The way he asks about other men, the way his tone changes slightly when you mention someone else. He may try to hide it, but it slips out in small ways. This isn't about insecurity. It's about emotional ownership beginning to form. When a man has deep feelings, he starts to see you as emotionally significant to him, and the idea of losing that connection to someone else creates a reaction in his nervous system. You might also notice he becomes more protective, not in a dramatic way, but in a grounded, steady way. He wants to know you're safe. He checks if you got home okay. He offers help when you're stressed. He steps in when you're overwhelmed. This protective instinct isn't about control. It's about emotional bonding. When a man cares deeply, his brain starts treating you as someone he is responsible for in a psychological sense, and that's a huge sign. Another powerful indicator is consistency. Men who don't have deep feelings are inconsistent. They disappear. They reappear. They are hot and cold. But a man who is emotionally attached starts to show up in a more steady way. He may still be scared. He may still be confused, but he doesn't vanish. He keeps coming back. He keeps staying in your orbit. That's because emotionally, he doesn't want to lose the connection he feels with you. You might also notice he starts including you in his life more. He talks about his work, his family, his past. He lets you see parts of him that he doesn't show to everyone. This is emotional intimacy, and emotional intimacy is a direct pathway to deep feelings. When a man opens up to you, it means he feels safe with you. And safety is what allows love to grow. Finally, you'll feel that he's more emotionally available to you than to others. He may be distant with the world, but with you he softens. He listens, he shares, he connects. That contrast is everything. It means you're not just another woman in his life. You are someone who has reached him emotionally, and that is where deep feelings are born. Another powerful sign a man has deep feelings for you is how he responds to conflict. When a man doesn't care deeply, conflict is an excuse to leave. But when he has emotional attachment, conflict becomes something he wants to resolve. You might notice that even when he's upset, he doesn't walk away permanently. He comes back. He wants to talk. He wants to fix things. Why? Because emotionally, the connection matters more than being right. This is one of the clearest signs of deep feelings. A man who wants to keep you will work through discomfort instead of running from it. You might also notice he starts to imagine a future with you, even if it's subtle. He talks about things you could do together. Someday trips, plans, little moments. These are not random. They are his mind slowly weaving you into his life. A man doesn't imagine a future with someone he sees as temporary. Another sign is emotional vulnerability. He tells you things he doesn't tell others. His fears, his doubts, his insecurities. This is not weakness. This is trust. When a man has deep feelings, he feels safe enough with you to let his guard down. And that emotional nakedness is one of the strongest indicators of real connection. You might also notice he starts to prioritize you, not always in big dramatic ways, but in small consistent ones. He makes time. He adjusts his schedule. He shows up. These choices reveal what he values. And when he values you, it means emotionally you matter. Another sign is the way he reacts to your emotions. When you're happy, he feels it. When you're sad, he cares. This emotional mirroring is a sign of attachment. Your emotional state begins to affect his, and that doesn't happen without deep feelings. Finally, you'll notice that he treats you with a kind of respect that goes beyond attraction. He doesn't just want you. He values you. He listens to you. He considers your opinions. That respect is what separates a man who likes you from a man who feels deeply for you. The last powerful sign a man has deep feelings for you is the way he stays emotionally connected even when things are quiet. Not every relationship is full of constant excitement, but when a man cares deeply, the connection doesn't disappear in the silence. You still feel him there. He doesn't vanish when the energy is calm. He remains present, and that presence is one of the strongest indicators of real emotional attachment. You might also notice he wants to support your growth. He encourages you. He believes in you. He wants you to succeed. That's love energy. A man who feels deeply doesn't compete with you. He wants to see you win. Another sign is how he speaks about you to others. You might not hear it directly, but it shows in the way he refers to you. There's pride there, a softness, a sense that you matter to him. And finally, you'll feel it in your intuition. When a man has deep feelings, his energy around you changes. There's warmth, there's steadiness, there's emotional availability. He may not always say it, but his behavior tells the truth. And when you learn to read these signs, you stop guessing. You start knowing. And knowing is where your power comes from.